The hour for convening having arrived. All members, please come to the floor and take your seats. All members. Go ahead and ring the bell, Mr. Clerk, if you would. All members, please come to the floor, take your seats. We're going to have the roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber. Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machines? Members, I need your attention. All members voted. It's the green button. Doorkeeper, she's been here before. I think. All members voted. Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machines? Members, if you'll stand with me, I have an announcement we need to make. Many of you, along with myself, serve with our dear friend, former Chairman Bill Hembry. And y'all know Bill has been ill for some time now. Just got word, Katie, thank you, that Bill passed this morning. As you know, it's easy to say he's in a better place, but I know Bill was ready for whatever the good Lord had prepared for him, whether it was here as he inspired many of us with his writings and with his life and his counsel. I just learned, I did not know this. Obviously, we'll keep that family in our prayer and give thanks for Bill Hembry. But his sister, Audra, did I say that right? Also works in the clerk's office. So she's a part of this family as well. So let's keep that entire family and give thanks for a life well lived. So if you will, bow with me for a moment of prayer. God, thank you for good people. Thank you for those who inspire us to do better, to be our best, to treat our neighbor with kindness and fairness. Lord, let those life lessons inspire us all. Lord, will you know that we'll lift up that family? We know you'll hold them in your hands, Lord, and give them comfort and peace. And the prayers that will come from these folks here in this room as they remember a friend, a former colleague. We just give you thanks for the life of Bill Hembry. Amen. Thank you, members. As is our custom, we will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by our chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning enjoyed meeting he and his family. Will be introduced by the lady from the 82nd House District, Chair Lady Karen Mathiak. Chair Lady Mathiak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, colleagues. It's such a pleasure to have family here today. We don't always get to enjoy the families of our pastors, so I'm very blessed to have Rebecca and Kayla. She's a fourth grader, and her first time to the Capitol, and she got to see the animals down in the rotunda. And I also have a good friend of mine, former State Senator Mitch Seabaugh. He lives in my district now, and I'm so blessed and honored to have you here today, Senator. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pastor, for coming and being with us today. Pastor Dervin is originally from Albany. My seatmate will enjoy that. Stephen grew up in a broken home where church attendance really wasn't a priority. My community, my district, has a rich, rich history of Christendom. And I'm so proud of that, and I'm proud to have Pastor Stephen with us. As a teenager, he came to faith in Christ as soon as he sensed God's call to ministry. He married his high school sweetheart, Rebecca, and together God has blessed them with 5 children: Cade, Cole, Kaysen, Carrington, and Kaler, all with a C. Stephen has served in full-time ministry for over 2 decades, finally leading churches to Georgia, Tennessee, and Florida. He is passionate about teaching God's word in a way that connects people to Christ and believes the local church is God's plan A for reaching the world. With a heart for sharing the gospel, making disciples, and equipping others to do the same, Stephen leads with conviction, humility, and deep love for the church. He holds a Master in Divinity from Liberty University Baptist Theological Seminar, and Stephen has been the pastor of Oak Hill Church in Williamson, Georgia, for over 8 years. So please enjoy his word this morning.
Well, good morning. As a lifelong Georgian, growing up, driving through downtown Atlanta to get to Mineral Bluff to see my grandparents, I would have never dreamed that I would have been in this building. And so thank you for being here. I know it's probably against some of your wills, so we'll try to get through this together. I want to thank first Speaker Burns for allowing me to be here, Speaker Pro Tem Jones, Leader Efstration, Leader Hughley, and Chairwoman Mathiak. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here this morning. In Mark chapter 10, we read where Jesus is foretelling his death. He's walking with his disciples, and in the back, James and John are making plans. They are working and networking to try to see where they can be. Jesus overhears their comments as they come up, and they say, "Can we ask you a question? Can we sit next to you?" They want honor, they want prestige, they want recognition. And Jesus responds in Mark 10:45 in a most peculiar way when he says, "For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and he gave his life as a ransom for many." You know, there's a lot that preachers and politicians have in common. And I know that probably some of the people that vote for you and some of the people that attend my church would agree. We both speak for a living, and we hope that people will listen. We shake a lot of hands and attend more meetings than we care to attend. We get criticized by people that have never done our job a day in their life. Can I get an amen? We're expected to have all the answers for problems that are bigger than ourselves, but the biggest thing that we have in common is not the microphones that we stand behind, but rather the motivation for why we do it. At some point, you and I decided that we wanted to give our lives, or a portion of our lives, to serve people, because people matter. And we know that the way up is down. Jesus tells us if we wanted to be great in this world, that we should serve. True leadership is measured by service. He says to give his life in Mark 10:45. Jesus' greatest act of service happened without applause, without headlines, and without votes. And oftentimes, for all of us, the most meaningful service is unseen, it's uncelebrated, it's unappreciated, and because of the late nights that I know that are coming for many of you, it also is inconvenient. But God sees those late nights. He sees those tough decisions and the quiet sacrifices that you make and those that never make the news. And as a Georgian, I want to tell you that I'm grateful for what you do in making our state a better place. We see that service also happens when no one is applauding. Leadership's not about position. It's not about our title or influence. It's about a responsibility to care for people and to care for people well. So whether it's a pulpit or in the Capitol, leadership means asking this: who am I responsible for today? The goal of service is the good of others, not the glory of self. And while James and John were jockeying for position and doing everything they can to ensure that they would have a seat at the table and perhaps the best seat next to their Savior, oftentimes we find out that Jesus, we read in the Word of God, at the Last Supper, when he took a towel that should have been where he was being served, he lowered it and tied it around his waist and washed the feet of those that he set an example for, that they would serve. He came as a ransom for many. Jesus served with others in mind, not of himself. He gave of himself to the very end. And when service is our goal, the beautiful thing of service is that unity becomes possible even when we disagree. And I'm sure there's never any disagreement in this room. You can disagree strongly, and oftentimes that happens both in this building and the building that I call my church home. But you can still serve and love honorably when the focus is on the people. Different callings, different convictions, but the same definition of greatness. All of us are called to serve. And my prayer for you, and I pray that your prayer is for me, that God would give us the strength to keep serving well, especially when it's difficult. Can we pray together? Father, I thank you for these men and women that are filling this room. Father, you know every one of their needs, for there's nothing that you don't know. Father, I pray that you would protect their children, their grandchildren, their marriages. Father, I pray that you would keep them far from evil and alert to sin, that they would choose you, that they would know that you made them for purpose and on purpose. And that, Father, I pray that you would walk with them in the days ahead, that you would give them wisdom as they make decisions that will impact their families and every family in our state. Father, I pray for the family of Bill Hembry and his passing. I pray that, Father, you would be nearer than you've ever been before, that they would sense you, that they would love you and know that they're loved by you. It's in the name of Jesus I pray. Amen. Would you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Perfect. Thank you, Brother Stephen. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. Doorkeepers, you may unlock the doors. Members, you may join Brother Stephen out in the South Ante room and show your appreciation. Thanks for reminding us about our responsibility. Thank you. Strong message. Okay, members, we're going to go a little bit further. Our doctor of the day today is brought to us by Chairman Health Specialist. Chairman Butch Parrish is Dr. Iyer. You can come up and say her first name. So we appreciate our physicians being here with us and our nurse. So if you need their services, y'all know where they are. So thanks to all of our healthcare professionals and what they do for us. Chairman Hilton, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, is recognized. Chairman Hilton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Information and Audits has read the Journal of the previous legislative day and found it to be correct.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Hilton, the chairman of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the Journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the Journal? Hearing none, the reading of the Journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the Journal? Hearing none, the Journal is confirmed. Before the clerk, well, let's do that first, clerk. Mr. Clerk, clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day. Mr. Clerk.
Representative Administration of the 104th moves following be established as the order of business in the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. All right, members, you may want to take your seats or at least get quiet for a moment. We're going to have an announcement that you'll be interested in from Chairman Hatchett. I thought that may get your attention. Chairman Hatchett. Conversations cease for just a moment. Chairman Hatchett is recognized to bring some vital information. Chairman Hatchett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, next week is joint budget hearings with, I think, the Senate. I think that's who we do those with. But that's next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, starts at 10 o'clock Tuesday morning in room 341. More importantly, even than that, is after the State of the State, your budget books are in CLOB 412. You sign for them, you get one copy, and that's what you use next week during the hearings. 412 after the governor's address.
Any question? Thought that was pretty clear. Thank you, Chairman Hatchett. Before we have first readers, so we're going to move pretty rapidly, so we'll stay on schedule here this morning. There are some morning orders we'll get to, so while you have some guests in the gallery, so we're going to move forward. So, Mr. Clerk, first readings of bills and resolutions. Mr. Clerk, will you read?
House Bill 960 by Representative Clark on the 108th, Administration of the 104th, Reeves, and 99th Park on the 107th, Adenia, and 110th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 1562 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating the number of judges of superior courts.
Judiciary.
House Bill 961 by Representative Powell, the 33rd, Evans, the 57th, Jaspers, the 11th, Oliver, the 84th, Cooper, the 45th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 20E, titled 33, the Official Code of Georgia Annotated, the Surprise Billing Consumer Protection Act.
Insurance.
House Bill 962 by Representative Martin of the 49th, Barrett of the 24th, Jones of the 47th, Williamson of the 112th, Blackman of the 146th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 23-634 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to savings trust accounts.
Ways and Means.
Bill 963 by Representative Martin of the 49th, Anderson of the 10th, Fleming of the 114th, Carson of the 46th, and Blackman of the 146th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 5 of Title 21 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to government, transparency, and campaign finance.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 964 by Representative Cannon, the 172nd, Chastain to the 7th, McDonald the 26th, Williams the 168th, Lumsden to the 12th, and others. Bill be titled Act to amend Title 4080 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to revenue and taxation.
Ways and Means.
Bill 965 by Representative Hanian of the 81st, Byrd of the 20th, Gaines of the 120th, Fincher of the 23rd, and Cox of the 28th. Bill be titled An Act to amend Chapter 33 of Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to health records.
Judiciary.
House Bill 966 by Representative Westbrook of the 163rd, Jackson the 165th, Gilliard the 162nd, and Stevens the 164th. Bill be titled An Act to amend and Act creating a new charter for the city of Garden City.
Intergovernmental Coordination.
House Bill 967 by Representative Ridley of the 22nd, Ridley the 6th, Horner the 3rd, Fleming the 114th, Chastain of the 7th, and others. Bill be titled An Act to amend Chapter 6A, Title 35 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to Criminal Justice Coordinating Council.
Public Safety and Homeland Security.
House Bill 968 by Representative Townsend of the 179th, Stevens of the 164th, Williams of the 148th, Smith of the 18th, Corbett of the 174th, and others. Bill be titled An Act to amend Chapter 13, Title 16 of the Official Code of Georgia relating to controlled substances.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 969 by Representative Townsend of the 179th, Hawkins of the 27th, Green of the 154th, Panitch of the 51st, Herring of the 145th, and others. Bill be titled An Act to amend Part 2 of Article 1 of Chapter 18 to Title 45 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to Georgia State Employees Post-Employment Health Benefit Fund.
Retirement.
House Bill 970 by Representative Townsend of the 179th, Washburn of the 144th, Osteen of the 169th, Rice of the 139th, Hagan of the 156th, and others. Bill be titled An Act to amend Part 14 of Article 6 of Chapter 2, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to other educational programs relative to the Quality Basic Education Act.
Health.
House Bill 971 by Representative Townsend of the 179th, Jones of the 25th, Deloach of the 167th, Smith of the 70th, Horner of the 3rd, and others. Bill be titled An Act to amend Part 14 of Article 6 of Chapter 2, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to other education programs under the Quality Basic Education Act.
Education.
House Bill 972 by Representative Berry, the 56th, Lallier, the 59th, Rice of the 139th, Herring of the 145th, Hagan of the 156th, and others. Bill be titled An Act to amend Part 3 of Article 6 of Chapter 2, Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to education programs under the Quality Basic Education Act.
Education.
House Bill 973 by Burns, 159th, Jones, the 47th, Abstention of the 104th, and Hatchett of the 155th. Bill be titled An Act to amend an act making and providing appropriations year beginning July 1st, 2025, and ending June 30th, 2026.
Appropriations.
House Bill 974 by Representative Burns, 159th, Jones, the 47th, Abstention of the 104th, and Hatchett of the 155th. Bill be titled An Act to make and provide appropriations for state fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026, and ending June 30th, 2027.
Appropriations.
House Bill 975 by Representative Burns, the 159th, Jones of the 47th, Abstention of the 104th, Hatchett of the 155th. Bill be titled An Act to amend an act making and providing appropriations for the state fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025, and ending June 30th, 2026.
Appropriations.
House Bill 976 by Representative Burns, 159th, Jones of the 47th, Abstention of the 104th, and Hatchett of the 155th. Bill be titled An Act to amend an act making providing appropriations for the state fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025, and ending June 30th, 2026.
Appropriations.
House Bill 977 by Representative Burns, 159th, Jones of the 47th, Abstention of the 104th, and Hatchett of the 155th. Bill be titled An Act to make and provide appropriations for the state fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026, and ending June 30th, 2027.
Appropriations.
House Bill 978 by Representative Burns, 159th, Jones of the 47th, Abstention of the 104th, and Hatchett of the 155th. The bill be titled An Act to make and provide appropriations for the state fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026, and ending June 30th, 2027.
Appropriations.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. Mr. Clerk, will you read?
House Bill 950 by Representative Cahan of the 81st, Dunhood of the 31st, Kelly of the 16th, and Gullett of the 19th, a bill relating to immunization of students. House Bill 951 by Representative Clark of the 100th, Mathiak of the 82nd, Silcox of the 53rd, Kelly of the 16th, Schofield of the 63rd, and others, a bill relating to insurance. House Bill 952 by Representative Franklin of the 160th, Parrish of the 158th, and Burns of the 159th, a bill to amend an act to create a Board of Elections and Registration for Bullock County. House Bill 953 by Representative Franklin of the 160th, Parrish of the 158th, Burns of the 159th, a bill to create a City of Statesboro public facilities. House Bill 954 by Representative Bell of the 75th, Gessler of the 121st, Jones of the 25th, Sharper of the 177th, Gilliard of the 162nd, and others, a bill relating to issuance, expiration, renewal of licenses. House Bill 955 by Representative Silcox of the 53rd, Jones of the 47th, Hilton of the 48th, Evans of the 57th, Donatucci of the 105th, and others, a bill relating to holidays and observances. House Bill 956 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, Smith of the 70th, Cannon of the 172nd, a bill relating to solid waste trust fund. House Bill 957 by Representative Clifton of the 131st, Corbett of the 174th, Persinger of the 119th, Camp of the 135th, New of the 40th, and others, a bill relating to motor vehicles and traffic. House Bill 958 by Representative Owl of the 50th, Stevens of the 164th, Green of the 154th, Hawkins of the 27th, Buckner of the 137th, a bill relating to taxes on tobacco and vaping products. House Bill 959 by Representative Owl of the 50th, Stevens of the 164th, Green of the 154th, Hawkins of the 27th, Buckner of the 137th, a bill relating to taxes on tobacco and vaping products. House Resolution 1009 by Representative Cannon of the 172nd and Ford of the 170th, a resolution honoring the life of Mr. John L. Williams and dedicating an interchange in his memory, through second readers.
That completes second reading of bills and resolutions. We have no standing committee reports. We're ready for morning orders. Y'all can come down, Representative Flanoy, Representative Lim, Representative Willis, Representative Santos, and Chair Lady Hagan. About 90 seconds, something like that. Representative, gentlemen will hold just for a moment. Gentlemen will pause, stand to just for a moment. We have guests in the gallery today that are important to all of us. Certainly important to this representative, so please give him your attention. Please, Representative Flanoy, and friend.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If there's anyone from the Clayton County delegation, you are more than welcome to join us this morning, but I am excited and elated to welcome the 5A State Championship cheerleaders from Lovejoy High School with us this morning. We are so honored to have them. If you all please stand. We are proud of you. Thank you to the coaches, Coaches Washington and Montgomery, for all that you have done. Continue to keep up the good work, and thank you for representing Clayton County well. You are the first cheerleading state champions from Clayton County, and so we are so proud of you. Councilwoman Rosalette Kirby is here with us from City of Lovejoy. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting them down. It's great to have you here in your capital. We're proud of you too, so keep on playing hard and studying hard. I know y'all are. Thanks for being here with us. Good luck to you all. Representative Lim.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is Keeping Georgia Wild Day, and I'm not speaking on that, but on that theme, I am proud to welcome and celebrate the winners of our now annual State Park and Historic Sites Art Contest, which Senator Halpern and I co-created and first launched last year with our state's Department of Natural Resources. We created this initiative specifically to celebrate two things. One, if you don't know, Georgia has 48 beautiful state parks and 15 historic sites. And two, we have some really talented youth. This year we got nearly 250 submissions from high schoolers all over the state. And today we welcome our top 10, which, sitting on the jury, I have to say, was not particularly easy to get down to. If they are here, I ask them to rise. Not sure I see them. I think they're over in the Senate, but we still want to recognize them. And if you want to see that, we have all the top artwork featured in the South Wing starting at 1 p.m. today, and a reception celebrating the winners at 2:30. Go out and see our beautiful state parks and historic sites. Particular thanks not only to Senator Halpern, but also DNR, and especially Austin Sir and Commissioner Rabin. We congratulate all the winners and participants, and I yield the well.
Thank you, Representative Lim. Good job judging. I want to go see what kind of job you did, so I'll go check them out. It's all good. We appreciate those folks participating. Representative Willis. Representative Inga Willis.
And friends,
You got friends coming? Okay.
I do.
All right, friends.
Darshan,
Representative Kendrick.
thank you.
Are you sure?
Good to know if I need a friend, you'll be
Are you sure she's your friend? I think she is.
my friend and my sister. Good morning, colleagues. 118 years ago on the campus of Howard University, something incredible occurred. In the midst of lynching rates being at an all-time high and African American attendance rates in college being at an all-time low, 16 scholars, 16 black women, one in particular. I had a photo, Betsy. You didn't get it? Ethel Hedgeman had a vision fair, that black women should be able to assemble as sisters. And the first and finest black sisterhood on record was founded, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, January 15th, 1908, on the campus of Howard University. 118 years later, we continue to serve globally together in our communities as well as in yours. I'd also like to recognize our Madam Leader, who has received the esteemed distinction of Golden Soror, which represents 50 years of service in sisterhood. And so on today, wish an Alpha Kappa Alpha woman in your life happy Founders Day. And please know, if it's unfamiliar to you, each organization in the Divine Nine continues to work together in education, in healthcare, for voting rights, to be on the front line of change for the black community, for the betterment of this world and beyond. Thank you, Alpha Kappa Alpha, and thank you, Sweet 16 founders. Have a great day.
Thank you, Representative Willis and friends. Representative Santos is recognized for a morning order. You have some folks coming with you. If y'all would join Representative Santos, be the appropriate time. The ladies recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We celebrate veterans every day, but today I want to bring two very special guests that are sitting with us, introducing two respected leaders of American Legion Post 516. First, Fred Wilcox, a retired U.S. Army Command Sergeant Major, served his country through deployments to Kosovo, Iraq, and Afghanistan, bringing decades of leadership and experience to our post. And Alton Head, a proud U.S. Army veteran, now serving as commander of Post 516, representing the legacy of those who answered the call during one of our nation's most challenging times. On behalf of all of us, welcome to the House of Representatives. Please rise to recognize them.
Thank you, Representative Santos. Thank you for your service, gentlemen. We appreciate you taking time to be with us today so we can recognize you. Thank you. Chair Lady Hagan, recognized And some friends. You can bring a friend if you have one. May have to pay more to get more friends. I'm not sure. Chairlady Hagan's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is Georgia Flex Day at the Capitol. Flex stands for Foundational Leadership and Entrepreneur Experience. They teach high school students valuable business skills, and then those students go on to create real businesses, provide real products, and make real money. It began in 2020 in Fitzgerald and was the brainchild of Melissa Dark and her team at the Fitzgerald Ben Hill Chamber. Melissa is joining us. Melissa, if you want to, you could stand and let everybody see. I knew when I met her I wanted to be her friend because she is so involved in her community and cares so much for young people. 6 years later, Flex is at 20 sites, serving 22 counties, teaching high school students business sense. And today, 100 students and their leaders are here to learn about the legislative process. So please help me welcome the Flex program, Georgia Flex, to the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
That's pretty cool. Flex. Thanks for being here and thanks for recognizing. That completes our morning orders. Members, I'm going to let you, if we all will, stand at ease for just a few minutes. We're going to welcome the Senate, I think, at 10:45. So if you need to tend to something just for a minute before they're here, but you best get in your seat because they may hijack your seat if you aren't careful, so it'd be a good thing to be in your seat. The House will stand at ease. Okay, members of the House will come back to order. Members, please come take your seats. We'll be welcoming our colleagues from the Senate momentarily. Members of the House, come back and take your seats, please. Members, please return to the floor and take your seats. We'll be welcoming our guest into the gallery and onto the floor in just a minute or two. Members, if I have your attention, please. We were informed that those of you that are on the Governor's Escort Committee were notified. Just in case, I'm going to notify you right now in case you were not notified. Representative Hahn, Representative Wade, Representative Gamble, Representative Seabaugh, Speaker Pro Tem Jones, Leader Estration, Leader Hughley, Dean Green, Whip Burchett, Whip Park, Sam Park, Representative Houston Gaines, Representative Spencer Fry, Representative Trey Rhodes, and Representative Eric Gisler. You are on the Governor's Escort Committee. You need to assemble outside the chamber doors. And now would be the time. We have guests arriving. We want to be very, very, very professional and welcoming. So members, please take your seats. Remember what I told you, they'll try to sit in your seat if you aren't careful, and you'll be standing outside. Members, please take your seats and cease conversation. Mr. Doorkeeper.
Mr. Speaker, The President Pro Tem, and the members of the Senate await entrance to the House chambers.
Mr. Doorkeeper, please allow the President Pro Tem, and the members of the Senate to enter the House chamber, and will the messenger please escort them to their designated seats. Well, it's good to have the Senate over in the People's House. We're glad to have y'all here. So I have the okay from the Lieutenant Governor, the President of the Senate, to ask y'all to all come in and take seats. Okay, members. Okay, members, if I could get your attention, please. Everybody's in their proper position, but I need your attention up this way just for a minute. Thank you, members. We're going to just pause for just a moment as we welcome our guest into the gallery. How do y'all look like the House chamber, you senators? If you haven't seen it, doesn't it look great? This chamber looks wonderful, just as y'all's does. Great job in here. If y'all can beat one of the House members to their chair, y'all can sit in one of these new chairs as well. And they're pretty comfortable, pretty comfortable. We have a few more folks coming in, but I'm going ahead and go do something now that I've been looking forward to doing. Well, we wanted to welcome all of us in here and get us quiet down just for a moment, and before we get started again with some more conversation. But I want to take this opportunity to welcome the members of the Senate. We look forward to working with you this session to have a meaningful impact for the people of Georgia. And I have a great partner in ensuring we do just that. That's my friend, the President of the Senate, Lieutenant Governor of this state, our friend and a great Georgian, Burt Jones. Let's welcome Burt Jones. Mr. Doorkeeper.
Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Niles S.D. Peterson, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Sarah Hawkins Warren, Presiding Justice of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Trenton Brown, Chief Judge of the Court of Appeals, and the Justices and Judges of the Supreme Court and Court of Appeals respectfully await entrance to the House chamber.
Thank you, Mr. Doorkeeper. Mr. Doorkeeper, will you please allow the Honorable Niles S.D. Peterson, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Sarah Hawkins Warren, Presiding Justice of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Trenton Brown, Chief Judge of the Court of Appeals, and the Justices and Judges of the Supreme Court and our Court of Appeals, respectively, to enter the House chamber. And will the messenger please escort them to their seats, please? Mr. Doorkeeper.
you working on this year? Oh, yeah? Come see me.
Okay, members of the court, looks like the downtown connector right here. A little traffic jam here. We're about ready to welcome the governor in. So if members of the House and Senate will give us a little space here. Mr. Doorkeeper.
Mr. Speaker, Ryan P., Governor of Georgia, his committee of escorts, and distinguished guests await entrance to the House chamber.
Mr. Doorkeeper, please allow the governor and his committee of escort and distinguished guests access to the House chamber. Members of the House and Senate, this joint session of this General Assembly will now come to order. Members, please take your seats. Our guests are all seated. Mr. Clerk, will you read a resolution?
House Resolution 997 by Representative Estration, 104th, a resolution calling a joint session of the House of Representatives and the Senate for the purposes of hearing a message from the governor, inviting the justices of the Supreme Court and the judges of the Court of Appeals to be present at the joint session.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Welcome, everyone, to the People's House, the People's Building, our state capitol. We're here today to talk about some important issues. One main one, Georgia's future. I look forward to hearing the governor's message as well as you do. Now I get to do something that it's really special for me because I get to recognize some very special people. So let me start with, not you, the very best First Lady of any state in this country. My dear friend, a champion for so many great causes in our state, our First Lady Marty Kemp. Let's make her welcome. I'm so proud and blessed to know that First Lady. She's great. Thank you. Now, we have some other ladies that are important to the state of Georgia here. And let me see if I can get these right. Amy Porter Kemp, I got it. Lucy Kemp, Jared Fletcher, and her husband, she has a husband up there, Brooks Fletcher. So let's make them welcome too. Y'all stand, let's make y'all welcome. You all know what I know. This first family has been supportive of their mother and father, but more importantly, supportive of the people of Georgia. Thank you, ladies, for what you've done in some tough times out supporting our neighbors across the state, your neighbors. So thank you. We're indebted to you. Thank you so much. Governor's mother is here. Ms. Cavendish, welcome. It's great to have you, and you did a great job raising this young man, and we appreciate you being here and supporting. Thank you so much. It's a family affair today. We also have the governor's sister and her husband, Julie Reef and Rocky Reef. Will y'all stand and let us recognize you? Please stand. Thank you all for being here on this special day. Now, I'd like to recognize somebody who's pretty important to me too, Governor and Lieutenant Governor, and that's my wife, Dale Burns. Dale, would you stand? Who cares so much about literacy? Appreciate the difference you're making in people's lives. Thank you, because you made a huge difference in my life. Thank you. I also like to welcome the First Lady of the Senate, Mrs. Jan Jones. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting this gentleman to my left and your family. Thank you for everything you do. Please stand and let us welcome you. Some other special folks here with our Lieutenant Governor Jones, his former state representative. He's doing a great job at that. He did a great job. His father, Bill Jones, his sister, Natalie Tiller, and his brother-in-law, Chris. Would y'all all stand and let us recognize you all? Thank you for your service in the House, Mr. Bill. Now it's my honor also to recognize someone very important to the workings of this chamber and to the workings of our state, along a distinguished career, and it's not over, and that's Speaker Pro Tem Jan Jones. Pro Tem. A gentleman's name has a long tenure of service in our state. He's continuing that tenure of service to the people of Georgia. And that name is Larry Walker. This is Larry Walker III, the new pro tem in the Georgia Senate. Thank you for your service to Georgia and your families. Now I want to recognize some folks that are a very important part of our lives in Georgia, and those are folks that serve as our judges. I want to recognize first Chief Justice Nels S.D. Peterson for your service. Please stand and let us recognize you, Mr. Chief Justice. Very important part of that whole process, presiding Justice Sarah Hawkins Warren. Thank you for being here and letting us be in part of this day. Now, also we have the Chief Judge of the Georgia Court of Appeals, Chief Judge Trenton Brown. Thank you for being here. Thank you to our judiciary. It's certainly a very, very important part of our process as we all care about our neighbors. So thank you for your wisdom and your justice for the people of Georgia. We have a couple of constitutional officers, I think, if my eyes aren't fooling me, that are here today. And I want to start with one that's the Attorney General of our state of Georgia, Attorney General Chris Carr and his beautiful wife, Joan. Let's make them welcome. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, former House member. Our Insurance Commissioner, Commissioner John King. Welcome back to the House, Commissioner. Our number one industry in the state, our Agriculture Commissioner, Tyler Harper. And a lady is doing an outstanding job. Thank you, Governor. You did a nice job here. Labor Commissioner Barbara Rivera Holmes. Commissioner Holmes, thank you for your service. State School Superintendent, Richard Woods. All right. Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. wanted to make sure the mayor could find his way from down the street. Mayor Andre Dickens, a dear friend, doing a great job leading the city of Atlanta. Mayor Dickens. A gentleman who's had long and distinguished service to our country and our state. Chancellor Sonny Perdue. We're looking to build some relationships this morning, so I'm going to introduce these next two gentlemen together. From the University of Georgia, don't applaud yet, the president of the University of Georgia, President Jerry Moorhead. Hold it. And also, from the Georgia Institute of Technology, President Angel Cabrera. Thank you. I hope y'all are together. There they are, right there. We have our Public Service Commission here, and they're led by former House member, Chairman Jason Shaw, and members of the Public Service Commission, if you'll stand. The Consular Corps. I know we have a lot of good folks here. If you'll stand so we can make you welcome here to the Georgia House. Y'all may be seated. I've never said anything that received such approval. Thank y'all for welcoming all our guests and recognizing some very, very important people in the lives of Georgians. Now, I'm very honored and some misgivings as well to introduce Governor Kemp today, because this may be the last time he will be delivering this address to the people of our great state. But I can assure you that the legacy, Governor Kemp, your family, has built will last far beyond the 8 years that you will have spent serving as governor of this state. I often say this, and it's true. A story seldom told is soon forgotten. And the success story you've helped this General Assembly write for Georgia will certainly not be forgotten anytime soon. You've led with integrity, determination, and resilience through some of the most difficult times we've faced as Georgians and as a nation. When COVID struck, you put the people of Georgia first and reopened our state for business to ensure our economy remained strong, and it worked. When Hurricane Michael and Hurricane Helene swept across South Georgia, leaving behind generational damage and devastation to countless communities, farmers, families, you and your family made sure each of those Georgians knew they were not alone. Thank you. Thank you to your family. I can't thank you enough for the impact you, Marty, and the girls have had on our communities as they face some of their darkest hours. I was there and I saw it. It made a difference. But you've also led our state during its heights of achievement. You've invited opportunities for job creators and employees to put down their roots here in our state, leading our state, Georgia, to historic economic success and growth. You've enabled us to work alongside you, deliver over $9 billion in tax relief for hardworking Georgians. I want to applaud you for that. Now, whether that relief came as rate reductions, tax returns, or your suspension of the gas tax at appropriate times, you've increased access to educational opportunities, employment, and health care all over this state. You've invested in public safety, keeping our communities and our citizens safe and secure. Most of all, you've done what's best for the great state of Georgia every step of the way, and I know this session will be no different. It is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome the very best governor in the Union, the 83rd governor of this great state, Brian P. Kemp.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you very much. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, Speaker Burns. Thank you for those kind words. I'll tell you all what I just told Speaker Burns and Lieutenant Governor Jones. It's been an honor serving with you. Lieutenant Governor Jones, Speaker Burns, President Pro Tem Walker, Speaker Pro Tem Jones, members of the General Assembly, my fellow constitutional officers, Mayor Dickens, members of the judiciary, members of the Consular Corps, and my fellow Georgians. As we begin a new year, there are many reasons to be optimistic about the future of our state and its people. State taxes on hard-working Georgians are low and going lower. Our rainy day fund is at a record high. Our schools are fully funded. Our infrastructure is receiving historic investments, and our state law enforcement and educators are paid more today than they were 7 years ago. Our communities are safer. Unemployment is low. More new private sector jobs are being created every day, and businesses around the country and the world know Georgia is the place to be. Our ports are busy and growing. Our kids have some of the finest technical colleges and universities in the country to choose from, and our economy is diverse and built to last. Innovation, opportunity, hard work, and a fair shot at the American dream have a home in the great state of Georgia. There is no question the state of our state is stronger, more prosperous, and safer today than it was in January of 2019. Thank you all. But also I want to be clear, this success, this good news isn't guaranteed. It doesn't happen by default or accident. There's more work to be done and more wood to chop to make sure Georgia continues to be the best place to live, work, and raise a family for generations to come. I believe that starts with continuing to address hardworking Georgians' concerns over the persistently high cost of living and everyday necessities. Since 2021, working together with this General Assembly, we have provided one-time tax relief to the tune of over $3.2 billion, property tax relief, nearly $1 billion, over $2.2 billion in motor fuel tax suspensions, and a permanent income tax savings of nearly $3.4 billion. That's almost $9.7 billion that have helped hardworking Georgians fight through the record high inflation forced upon all of us by the previous administration in D.C. and a Congress that couldn't put down the nation's credit card. These are historic investments in families, recent college graduates looking to start a career, our seniors on fixed income, and single parents just trying to make ends meet. But these investments were possible because we rejected the idea that just because government takes in more money, it shouldn't turn right around and spend it on more government. California may think that way. New York may think that way. But in Georgia, we do things differently. We keep your tax burden low. We budget conservatively and responsibly, and we ensure that state government is efficient with the dollars that you trust us with. And at the end of the day, if we have more than we need, we give it back to the people who actually earned it. As Marty, the girls, and I travel all across our state, we hear from Georgians in all walks of life, hard-working people trying to put food on the table for themselves and their families. And the reality is that too many of our citizens are still struggling to make ends meet each and every day because costs are still too high. Groceries, rent, insurance, clothes for the kids, it all adds up to more than it used to. That's why my budget proposal will include a fourth, one-time $1 billion tax rebate this year that will return or save the average filer $250 and a married couple up to $500. With this rebate, my administration and this General Assembly will have returned over $7.5 billion in surplus revenue to the taxpayers of our state over the last 4 years. We also know that one-time relief is a short-term solution that recognizes the state has collected more of your tax dollars than it needs to fund our priorities and save for whatever the future may bring. We must continue doing everything in our power to allow the hard-working men of our state to keep more of their hard-earned money in their pocket in the years to come. Because as I've said before, that's your money, not the government's. That's why my administration will also be proposing a further 20 basis point reduction in our state's personal and corporate income tax rate, bringing it down to just 4.99%. This will fulfill a promise to the people of the state that I made during my re-election campaign to lower our state income tax rate to under 5%. And with the General Assembly's passage and my signature, it will come a full 3 years ahead of schedule. This tax cut doesn't promise to pay for itself years down the road or create future budget holes with today's one-time money. Our plan fulfills my promise to the voters of this state in a responsible way. And most importantly, this plan puts all the hard-working people of our state first. The reason that we've been able to do this, and through it 3 years ahead of schedule, is because of our fiscal discipline. It's also worth noting a few other important accomplishments that the last few years may not have made headlines or pleased some of those that constantly advocate for bigger government. Even with the rebate and tax cuts that my office will propose this legislative session, our state's rainy day fund and strategic reserves will still stand at over $10 billion. These reserves are 4 times higher than any administration will leave behind in our history, and enough to run state government for 3 full months. But also want to provide a word of caution for the future. It's not a question if hard times will hit our state again. It is simply a question of when. When Governors Perdue and Deal were fighting alongside members of the General Assembly to pull our state through the Great Recession, billions more in state reserves would have been a critical lifeline as Georgia families, our state, and our country were experiencing incredible economic hardship. But as good leaders do, both governors made tough choices in tough times to make sure our state weathered the storm. And they both, along with the members of this legislature who serve with them, deserve our thanks and gratitude for their leadership. Fast forward to today, and Georgia stands in a historic position to confidently face whatever the future may bring. Showing fiscal restraint and continuing to build on these reserves instead of spending it all in the future may not be popular or easy. But the Georgia of today that has been built over the last 25 years does not stand on sticks made of easy or politically convenient. The Georgia of today stands on a firm foundation, a foundation built on the character of our people, the resolve of leaders both past and present, and by the grace of our Creator. So when the storms of tomorrow come, it is my hope that we will share in a commitment to keeping the state we all love on that firm foundation. Our state reserves are just one area that we have made historic strides in to set Georgia up for future success and prosperity. From the 2024 budget through the proposed amended 26 budget, $4.1 billion in capital projects have been funded through cash instead of debt. This strategic investment will save Georgia taxpayers and future state appropriators $3.3 billion in interest payments over the next 20 years. The cash funding of capital projects we began in fiscal year 2024 has allowed us to reduce outstanding debt by over 20% in just 3 years, and the ratio of our state's debt service to revenues is just 3%, the lowest since the state began issuing debt bonds in the 1970s. These savings were all made while implementing historic tax cuts, returning billions to taxpayers, and investing over $6 billion in water, sewer, and transportation projects across the state. Refusing to grow government, budgeting conservatively, and paying off debt aren't flashy. They don't get you on the cable news, make you famous on social media, or fit on a bumper sticker. And that might be the reason Washington has been so allergic to them. But I learned a long time ago building houses that it's better to be a workhorse than a show horse, because workhorses deliver results ahead of schedule, under budget, and do right by the customer. And that's exactly what we have been doing together for the people of our state. Another key investment this General Assembly and my administration has made is in our state's workforce. During my administration, we have reduced our state employee turnover rate by over 25%, all while keeping the size of our full-time state workforce at 2019 levels. We've invested in a vital workforce, saved taxpayer dollars in training and equipping new employees, and utilized innovation and technology to better deliver state services. Our state employees have done an incredible job in unprecedented times and are one of the driving forces behind Georgia's success. That is why today I'm proposing a one-time $2,000 pay supplement for all state employees, including our educators and state public safety officers. This is just another reminder, on top of the pay raises and supplements we have provided in years past, that their hard work does not go unnoticed and that we are truly thankful. Thank you all for recognizing that with your applause. These important investments, tax cuts, rebates, and record state reserves would not be possible without the drive and hard work of millions of Georgians who get up every day and do the best they can to provide for themselves and their families. They go to work chasing the American dream, hoping to earn an honest living and leave their kids and their grandkids better than they had it. That's the American spirit. That's the spirit of what it means to be a Georgian. When I launched my campaign for governor, it was about promising those hardworking Georgians that I would fight for them every day, whether they voted for me or not, regardless of their neighborhood or their zip code. Republican or Democrat, or something in between, my goal was to make a positive difference in their lives. As a small business owner and a construction guy, I believe so much good can come from an honest day's work at a job that pays a good wage. And I believe in what that job can do not only for that employee, but also for their family and that community. And that's why my administration from day one has prioritized economic development, job creation, and bringing investment to all four corners of our state. Over the last 7 years, Georgia has seen over 219,700 new jobs and more than $118 billion in investment from projects worked by the state economic development team. 64% of those jobs and 75% of those investment dollars are going to communities outside the metro Atlanta region. Since 2019, we've welcomed the 3 largest economic development projects in state history and continued Georgia's streak as the #1 state for business for an unprecedented 12 years in a row. But here in the best state for business, we don't just welcome big companies. We also champion small businesses that have a big impact on local communities. A great example of that is La Regina, an Italian food production company with a facility in Alma, Georgia, that employs 110 hardworking men and women. This facility also happens to be a former bakery that went out of business years ago. To that community of less than 4,000 people, the loss of an employer like that can be devastating. But because we prioritize economic development in rural Georgia, La Regina came in and revitalized that facility and created 110 jobs that are making a real and lasting difference, with more on the way. The impact of this small business extends far beyond Alma's borders. In addition to moving plenty of goods through the ports of Savannah, La Regina also purchases local produce from over 100 Georgia farmers, including more than 40,000 pounds of onions per week. With touch points throughout that region of our state, that one small employer produced a record 25 million jars of pasta sauce last year alone. When Marty and I went to southern Italy in 2024, we visited the headquarters of this family-owned and operated business. We talked to the men and women who have preserved their families' recipes for over 100 years, and we saw how similar their values were to the very family-owned farms and businesses here in Georgia that La Regina supports. That company, a full ocean away from our state, has the same values that we do: family, community, and a strong belief in a hard day's work. Today, we're joined by 2 La Regina company leaders who represent how small-town Georgia and international markets truly connect, all to the benefit of our workers. In the gallery is Emilio Rinaldi, Chief Operating Officer of La Regina, who has moved his entire family to our great state. He is joined by Jerry Lady, the plant manager and employee 1 for La Regina at Georgia's facility. You'll be glad to know that Jerry was the former bakery manager for the company that closed down. Will both of you please stand and let us thank you for your investment in our state. Whether the size of the Hyundai Meta plant or La Regina Food Processing Center, each project, each facility, job, or investment represents a generational opportunity for a Georgia family and their community. And one of the biggest reasons these job creators of all sizes choose Georgia is our highly skilled and reliable workforce. Over the last 7 years, we've put more money toward education and workforce training programs than ever before in the history of our state. In fact, as of this current fiscal year, we have not only fully funded QBE 7 times, but added $368 million to programs and initiatives that directly prepare workers for good jobs. We've also set new precedents when it comes to school safety. Starting with the first year of my administration, we began with 3 campus security grants totaling $184.5 million, and then added $109 million into the base budget so every school system can plan for how to best keep our classrooms and all of the children in them safe. We will again fulfill that commitment in this year's budget, bringing the total amount that we have allocated to school safety during my time in office to over $511 million. Appreciate that. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I also want to take a moment to also congratulate and thank the members of this body, both past and present, who joined my administration in achieving something that not many people thought was possible when I was sworn in as governor 7 years ago. In fact, when I pledged in 2018 to raise teacher pay by $5,000, I remember a former opponent of mine claiming I was making false promises to our educators across the state. Well, in a way, the media and the doubters were right. We didn't raise teacher pay by $5,000. We raised it by $9,500. This historic investment in our educators increased the starting salary for a Georgia teacher by almost 28%. And you don't have to get an A in math to know that that's an impressive jump. Let's again take a moment to thank all of the hardworking Georgians who lead our classrooms, pour into our students, and help keep and make our state a better place. Thank you all. In addition to K through 12, we've also made historic investments in our post-secondary education institutions and programs while reducing costs for students and families. Over the last several years, we have worked together to return the Hope Scholarship to 100% of its promise, all while the Board of Regents has held tuition costs in check across the system so greater opportunity in Georgia can remain affordable. Contrast that with other states that have again and again raised cost of higher education, all while inflation reached 40-year highs under the prior administration. The University of California, for instance, raised tuition by roughly 19% between 2019 and the current academic year. But here in Georgia, tuition has increased by just 5% in that same period. And your partnership in eliminating the special institution fee helped us lessen the impact on those increases on hardworking families and students. In fact, data from the National Center for Educational Statistics shows that Georgia is one of the top states in the country for four-year public university affordability. All while we've kept the cost of higher education in check and college within the reach of Georgia families. We've also invested more in post-secondary education than ever before. We're now putting $2 billion additional dollars toward higher education in Georgia than when I first took office. That includes $40.7 million in this year's budget proposal alone for healthcare education facilities and medical workforce training programs. And since I first took office, we spent over $26 million for medical residency slots in our state, adding 897 positions for a grand total of 2,523 residency slots as of this fiscal year. This year, my budget proposal adds another $2.1 million to further this upward trend in such a critical workforce need. Along with these unprecedented investments, Georgia is truly the national leader in merit-based aid for higher education between the Hope Scholarship and grant programs. But in this era of high prices and new challenges for those graduating from high school, we also recognize the advantage that need-based financial assistance can give to those who would not otherwise be able to access higher education. Like their peers who have the means to attend college, these students have great dreams for rewarding careers and impactful lives, but they don't always have hope that those dreams can become a reality. Dreams without the benefit of hope remain dreams deferred, perhaps for entire generations. How much richer would the lives of those and their families be if they could attain the type of education that leads to a high-paying job with great benefits? And how much would communities across our state benefit from these young people getting a degree that opens their door or starts a rewarding career? I believe we owe it to every child to ensure they start out on a level playing field, no matter their zip code. Therefore, my amended budget proposal invests $325 million in the University System of Georgia's Dream Scholarship Program, the first need-based scholarship of its kind in Georgia history. In future years, this one-time endowment will create opportunities for generational economic advancement for thousands of students. And down the road, it will allow them to complete college and begin meaningful careers without the burden of crippling debt. The Dream Scholarship will build on the incredible, unmatched legacy of the Hope Scholarship and leave no stone unturned when it comes to student achievement in our state. From now on, throughout the country, Americans will know that hopes and dreams are alive right here in the great state of Georgia. This unprecedented initiative will also complement the Georgia Match program we launched in 2023. In just the first 2 years of Match, we've seen a 5.9% rise in USG enrollment and a 7.1% increase in TCSG enrollment. Meanwhile, other states around the country have seen decreases in public university enrollment, and 17 states are still well below pre-pandemic levels. Not only is Georgia's workforce strong and growing, we continue to outpace our competitors for at least another generation in this regard. When you consider all of these measures together, it's clear to see that our commitment to those just beginning their careers in Georgia is unwavering. But so too is our commitment to those preparing to finish their careers of valued service to the people of our state. I'm talking about the men and women who face danger on a regular basis to protect our communities. Marty, the girls, and I feel the weight and value of their service and sacrifices on a very real and personal level. We have seen firsthand the uncommon bravery they embody, and we have mourned with their families when their service has come to a tragic end. We have been reminded of countless times of just how exceptional they are for answering the call to serve, when law enforcement are under siege more than ever before. That is why today I'm proposing an enhanced retirement plan for state law enforcement officers. Under this Under this new model, the state would provide a higher match to the 401k savings accounts of eligible public safety officers through a steeper contribution schedule. Not only will the state's match increase at a higher rate, but will also raise the maximum percentage cap from 9% under the current plan to 15%. By year 10 of an officer's service to the state, 3 full years before they would reach the contribution cap under the current plan, they will already have obtained the new maximum match of 15%. When you contrast that to the current system, we're effectively doubling the state's contribution for state law enforcement. I believe this is well deserved, given the dangers that they face in today's world. But this new model will also help us better recruit and retain brave and capable public safety officers, and will put Georgia's law enforcement retirement plan well ahead of other states. Those who are post-certified, who run toward danger, who help shield even the people who try to vilify them, deserve a safe and assured retirement, and we are going to give it to them. Our commitment to law enforcement in Georgia is only matched by our unrelenting determination to go after those who operate in the evil industry of human trafficking. Thanks to the tireless efforts of the best First Lady in the country and members of the Grace Commission who are champions in this fight, you have overwhelmingly passed 10 pieces of legislation that make Georgia a safe haven for victims and a hostile place for traffickers. Those measures include the launch of the Human Trafficking Prosecution Unit within the Attorney General Chris Carr's office. Since its creation in 2019, that unit has secured more than 70 convictions and rescued and assisted over 200 children. With your help in the legislature, we have also expanded this unit with 2 new regional offices through the funding in the amended 25 and 2026 budgets. I know that our First Lady would want me to take this opportunity to thank you all for your continued support in this fight over the years, whether through legislation or budgetary actions. While we have made incredible strides in this area, and while Georgia is now the undisputed national leader in anti-human trafficking policy, we all know this fight is not over. That's why my team will introduce an 11th bill in the coming days that will further protect our children, expose abusers, and save lives by preventing the silence imposed on far too many victims. Modeled after Trey's law passed in other states, it will be just the latest reminder that no child should be a victim of such an evil act. As a mother of 3 beautiful daughters, and as someone who spent time as an assistant pre-K teacher and a middle school substitute teacher, as an unwavering supporter of those in our state's foster care system, and as a First Lady who never fails to have a smile and a hug for the children she meets throughout Georgia, Marty has truly been the perfect person to lead this cause to make sure Georgia's sons and daughters are safe. Her grace under fire, along with the work of those who have been in the trenches on this issue for decades, created a turning point in this state when it comes to identifying and stopping this crime that affects every county, yet hides in plain sight. Though our work here is now its final year, the impact of her human trafficking efforts and that of so many others in this room and beyond will be felt for whole generations. Will you join me in thanking her and all of us, all of them have been in that fight. Y'all didn't let me get out the part about thanking those that have been in the trenches on this issue for so long. But both Marty and I are so appreciative of all those people that are out there every single day that we never get to see fighting this good fight. So thank you for recognizing them all. Just as we have made historic progress in fighting human trafficking, we've also made monumental strides in going after violent gangs. If you'll recall, just a few short years ago, members of the Atlanta media didn't think our state faced a gang problem. They weren't listening to the sheriffs and the prosecutors who were witnessing firsthand the rise of gang-related violent crime in their local communities. But the members of this body in my administration were. In 2019, my office worked with many of you to stand up and fund the anti-gang task force within the GBI, and then later the gang prosecution unit within the Attorney General's office. Since then, the GBI has investigated over 1,800 gang-related cases and arrested close to 2,500 offenders with gang affiliation. They've also seized over $95 million in drugs and illegal items associated with those crimes. That's $95 million worth of illegal substances and dangerous weapons that are not in our schools, on our streets, or threatening our neighborhoods. Complementing the GBI's good work, the Attorney General's Gang Prosecution Unit has also investigated and prosecuted cases in 19 counties, securing over 120 convictions across the state. We're also taking the fight to gang members and other dangerous criminals on the very streets where they operate through the Crime Suppressing Unit, now in its 5th year. With the combined resources and personnel of multiple state public safety agencies, partnering with local law enforcement, the CSU has found and arrested 1,340 wanted persons, helped take dangerous drugs off our streets by arresting 557 traffickers and carriers, recovered 1,179 stolen vehicles, and apprehended 49 murder suspects. Here is a news flash to those who try to demonize our law enforcement. This is what happens when you simply let them do their job. I see Chief Sherbaum up in the gallery with the mayor. He has been a great partner in this effort. Thank you, Chief. I again want to thank the men and women working in these units for their dedication to keeping our families and our communities safe. As you all know, this is my final time speaking to you in the State of the State address as your governor. Some of you may be more happy about that than others. But I hope you know that it has been an incredible honor for Marty, the girls, and me to serve as your first family. We have done this together every step of the way. And I'd like to take a moment and ask if you'd join me again in recognizing Marty and the girls for their service over the last 7 years. I love y'all. Thankfully, the girls look like their mother. I'd also like to thank my mom, my sister Julie and her family who are also here with us today. I know Speaker Burns recognized you earlier, but love you all. Thank you for your support. Today I've talked a lot about past accomplishments and some very important issues that I believe we must address in our final legislative session serving together. Don't be fooled, there's more work to be done over the next 37 legislative days. And for those of you who may think I'm a lame duck, just remember I have a big red pen. But in all seriousness, I was just thinking about what to say to my last captive legislative audience. And I was reminded of an old hymn written in 1924 called Little is Much When God is in It. The first and second verse say the following: In the harvest field now ripen, there is a work for all to do. Hark, the Master's voice is calling, to harvest calling you. Does the place you're called to labor seem so small and little known? Well, it is great if God is in it, and he will not forsake his own. In God's Word, we have so many examples of little acts of faith reaping more than one could imagine, often done by people of lesser means or lower standing in society, but filled with God's power and guided by his design. My family's service to this state will be a small footnote in the history books. Your service under the Gold Dome will likely be the same. When compared to the heroes of our faith, or everyday actions of so many heroes across our state, our service pales in comparison. Our goal as elected leaders was to do the best we could for the people who sent us here to serve in this building. We worked together to make our communities safer, their dreams more achievable, their lives more prosperous, and their future a little brighter. When I put my hand on the Bible that Marty was holding in January of 2019, I didn't know what choices we would face. I didn't know what challenges would come. And while the last 7 years have seemed so big in our lives, the many decisions and the outcomes, the truth is that the budgets, the new laws, pandemics, elections, legislative debates, political arguments, at the end of the day, they're small. They're small when compared to the plan of the master builder, our Creator. But my hope, my prayer, is that God would be in those small things for our service together. Because I believe He can take whatever we have done and help build on it for the people of our state and make it great. The last verse and chorus of that hymn I mentioned says this: "And when the conflict here has ended and our race on earth is run, He will say, if you've been faithful, welcome home, my child, well done. Little is much when God is in it. Labor not for wealth or fame. There's a crown and you can win it if you go in Jesus' name." Let's go finish the race. Like Nehemiah said, let's finish the great work we started. Thank you all. It has been an honor. May God bless you, and God continue to bless the great state of Georgia.
Governor, you nailed it. I think I can speak for every individual in this gathering. You don't know how much we appreciate your friendship, your leadership for the people of Georgia. You've made their futures brighter and fulfilling in so many different ways, along with the marvelous First Lady. We appreciate you, and we look forward to continuing this year on a strong note. And certainly, you said you may not be remembered in history. I think you will. And we're going to help tell that story. Thank you all. It is a great day to be a Georgian, isn't it? No doubt about that. Will the Committee of Escort please escort the Honorable Brian P. Kemp, Governor of the great state of Georgia, and his distinguished guests from this House chamber. Thank you, Governor. The Majority Leader of this House, Majority Leader F. Strachan, is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this joint session of the House and Senate be dissolved.
The leader has moved that this joint session of the Georgia Assembly be dissolved, and it is hereby dissolved. Thank you all. Members, we have a couple of more pieces of business before we can break for lunch. Members, thank you for being great hosts. Hey, Esther. Excuse me. Representative Panic. Sorry. Members, if you'll come back in, we'll close the doors a little bit and we'll get started. I think most of our guests have left the chamber. Members, I'll let you know we have an invite resolution tomorrow that we want to recognize one of our dear, dear friends, Mr. Abbott Massey, a great Georgian. So I hope you'll all be here as we recognize Mr. Abbott with a invite resolution. We're going to ask the clerk to read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions. If you'll give the clerk your attention, please. Mr. Clerk.
Honoring the life and memory of Janice DiColato. Recognizing and commending the Dream Center Church of Atlanta on its occasion of the 20th anniversary. Recognizing and commending Ron F. Wakefield for his outstanding public service with the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities. Commending and recognizing Dr. Felusu A. Fakorde by the House of Representatives. Recognizing and commending Dana Kraft on her outstanding public service, Executive Director of the Feeding Georgia. Commemorating 250 years of friendship between the United Kingdom and the state of Georgia, and commending Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Facility Dogs, Canine for Kids program, and for other purposes. That completes the reading of the privilege resolutions.
We were with those Choa dogs today, and they posed better than any of you can. I can tell you what, for the photo. They were awesome. They were awesome. Is there any objection to adopting the privilege resolutions? Hearing none, the resolutions are adopted. We have some afternoon orders. Representative Berry, Representative Scott, and Representative Donahue. We'll recognize Representative Berry first. Here he comes. Take your time, you're right. You got some friends gonna come with you? Friends are invited as well. If you will give the gentleman in the well and his friends your attention, please. His recognition of a birthday today.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we honor the life and legacy of a great Morehouse man and resident of District 56, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who understood best that to do justice means to love your fellow man. It means recognizing that our destinies are tied together, that injustice anywhere truly is a threat to justice everywhere. He taught us that justice is not abstract. It is lived out in our laws, our budgets, and the choices we make when no one is watching. To love mercy, as Dr. King showed us, is to see the humanity in those society too often casts aside. It is to meet punishment with rehabilitation, poverty with opportunity, and indifference with compassion. Mercy does not mean the absence of accountability. It means understanding that every person is worthy of dignity and a chance to be made whole. And to walk humbly with your God is to remember that leadership is not about power, but about service. Dr. King walked humbly even as he shook foundations of this very nation. He did not seek applause or comfort, he sought righteousness. He reminded us that the moral progress requires courage, and that silence in the face of injustice is itself a choice. As lawmakers, we sit in the seats of immense responsibility. The bills we pass and the votes we cast shape the lives of families we may never meet. On this day, honoring Dr. King is not about quoting his words, it's about continuing his work. So my charge to his body is simple on this weekend that we celebrate him. Let us legislate with justice as our guide, mercy as our posture, and humility as our compass. Let us ensure that the laws of the state bend not towards convenience, but towards justice. And that is how we honor Dr. King. not just today, but every day we are entrusted with the power to serve. Let us take a moment of silence to honor the life and legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Berry and friends, for honoring Dr. King, a great legacy. There she is. Representative Sandra Scott is recognized for, y'all listen up with this. This is pretty important. The representative is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, I would like to say happy birthday to my grandson, Lucas Scott. He's 13 years old today. Lucas, Granny, love you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Lucas. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield away.
Hidden talent. I didn't know you could sing. Awesome. Representative Donahue. Representative Emory Donahue for, listen up, I think he's going to tell you about something that's important to you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the last 10 years, I've had the privilege, but I would like Danny Mathis, Britt Cox, and David Huddleston, if you can, and Eddie Lumsden to come up here with me. I've been blessed to give each person in this room a daily devotion. Please use it. But with it, I have 4.
Pause just for a minute. Let him get up there with you.
I've had 4 colleagues that have joined in this year, and it's a blessing, but please use this, and remember, someone will need to carry it on. This is my last year. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Emory Donahue and members. We appreciate it. Representative Billy Mitchell is recognized. Give the gentleman your attention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Keeping in the vein of Representative Berry, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., North Steps will have the annual commemorative service honoring Dr. King. I understand that the speaker is on the program. Look for as many of you as possible to be there. Thanks again, Mr. Speaker.
What time did you say, Representative Mitchell? This is the first time you told me about it.
That program starts at 10 a.m. on the North Steps of the Capitol tomorrow morning.
We'll make it work. We're also beginning here at 10 a.m. We'll work it out. Representative Williams, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I had not planned to have an afternoon order, but I wanted to certainly say this after listening to the governor. I want you to say that I came here in 1975 with Zell Miller, and I have known every governor since then. This is the first governor since 1992 has used the words need-based. The first governor to take the stigma away from a word that seemed to have terrified folk for years. Thank you, Governor. Thank you.
We do have a fine governor. I think that completes our afternoon orders. Oh. I was fixing to close it out. It was nice. So we do that completes our afternoon orders. We do have a couple of announcements. Chairlady Lynn Smith is recognized for an announcement. You're next, Representative McLean.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. There will be a meeting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Natural Resource and Environment Committee to take up House Resolution 1008. We meet at 9 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. 9 o'clock. Absolutely. Representative McLean.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to let everyone know that the Working Family Caucus will be meeting in CLOB upon adjournment in room 310, CLOB, room 310, and the Georgia AFL-CIO is making their presentation on their initiative. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
310 upon adjournment. Chairman Blackman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ways and Means has an informational only meeting in 606 at 1 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before we adjourn, thank you, members, for your attention today and allowing the Senate to join us. We'll remind you of the prayers for the Hembry family, Beth Hembry and the entire family, the loss of our former member, Bill. I know they'll be appreciated. Majority Leader of this House is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House stand adjourned until Friday, January 16th, 2026 at 10 o'clock a.m.
On the motion of the Majority Leader that this House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. Friday, January 16, 2026. All those in favor will say aye. All opposed, no. There wasn't any doubt about it. You can never win, Al. The ayes have it. We are adjourned.